Hey everybody, welcome to beautiful Cape Cod, Massachusetts, at least in a virtual sense. It's Saturday morning, April 30th, 2016. Thank you for joining us. Despite my best intentions, I have not been able to keep current with these on a weekly basis. We have been consumed on the weekends by some efforts that, as important as trading is in terms of desire and passion and interest, it still pales in comparison to some of the things that we are involved in on weekends right now, which I will not belabor. But that's why we haven't been able to do these. My time over the course of the week, if you haven't noticed, uh, given some Twitter dialogue, is pretty full from a business and from a trading perspective. So I need to spend weekends doing some other things. Anyway, thank you for being here today. Thank you for your patience and for your indulgence. If you are here, you are here to try to glean something out of this man who has made many mistakes in his life and has kind of figured a few things out, but certainly have ways to go in some areas. And I appreciate that, and I take that very seriously. Before I get too far going this morning, just a quick reminder, because I do not send out emails to a mass mailing list. I do not mass announce this for a reason. I mentioned it a couple of times on my blog, and I mentioned it, I think I tweeted about it once, maybe twice, because we only do this with a very small group. But the only 2016 live jelly trader trading effort, the live effort, begins a week from Monday evening, and we'll run through that Friday. Very intensive effort. Looking forward to it. Pretty much where we want to be. If you want to be involved, it's kind of late. I might be able to get one or two more in, but you got to let me know like now, okay, frankly. This is not a money grab for me. I certainly get compensated for it, but I'm not interested in piling mass numbers of people in the room. Still not interested in running an ongoing service. My goal when I decided to respond to the call to get back into teaching after complaining a whole lot about it in the industry was to do something that was fairly unique, that was small, that was personal, and based on the feedback over the past several years, it has worked in terms of format, in terms of meeting, if not exceeding expectations of those involved with it. As long as that continues, we'll continue doing them maybe once a year, but there's certainly no guarantee. So anyway, just a quick word on that. If you're not interested in attending, we still have the videos available from the Beta Jelly team from some time ago, but it all remains valid as long as there are emotions driving market behavior, and I can't see that ever ending. There's material out there that will never lose its appropriateness, and so that's 16 hours, and anything you pay for that will always be applied to any live effort down the road. So anyway, commercial over. Forgive me. Thank you for your indulgence. I'll take a little bit of a unique approach maybe today. I've not been able to respond to a lot of emails that have come in over the past couple of months. Better explain or elaborate, I think, on some of my responses to be fair to you. And this way I can kind of hit everybody at once. And we'll talk about Twitter as well. A couple of things in terms of my focus. I mentioned earlier that I have very little time or I don't want to say desire, but mostly time to interact over the course of the trading week. From a trading perspective, my number one focus is on my trading business. I am a trader, folks. That's it. That's who I am. And I love to interact and I love to teach, but I'm a trader, so I will do everything I can to maintain focus, to to try to maybe point out some things as I see them developing over time. My number one focus, my number one business in this industry is a trader. That has always been the case. It always will be. So I manage my focus very carefully, and I put blinders on at times. And there's a very strong filter, as I think we all should have in terms of what enters our mind. So this is about peak performance, and anything you can do to maintain peak performance for yourself. I really encourage that. Most of you know I've talked a little bit about my weight loss recently, which is now what do we start? Over 200. We're now down at 175. And maintaining, and that's my biggest challenge here, maintaining. I've seen it really help my focus. I've seen it really help my drive, my ambition, and it's been really great. So that has worked well for me. But anyway, back to over the course of the week. Talk a little bit about Globex. I don't like that term because we all trade on Globex now, but let's call it ETH, extended trading hours, which really is not extended trading hours anymore. It's trading hours. It really continues to amaze me, and I understand the fact that we all live in different time zones all over the world, and that we have different obligations and interests in businesses outside of the business, the typical 9-to-5 business time frame, as I just mentioned, I do. Yet it still continues to amaze me how little importance people give to extended trading hours. From volume profiles, which say that many, not all, many of whom say that the overnight trading is irrelevant. You don't have the mass participation. Certainly the equities, the U.S. equities are not open. I get that. Okay, I get that. And to the extent that there's a dynamic relationship between futures equities and all that, I do understand that and respect that. But I'm still surprised, I guess, over the people that either shut down businesses or shut down their mindset or don't trade it because there's some lingering fear or I don't know why, but I will be very upfront. Most of my income this year, last year, has been made outside of the U.S. market hours. I can get more size on. It's more predictable. The pace is better. Okay, no doubt about it. And I want to shout that from the rooftops because I think it can help you. Now, how do we structure our lives? Those of us that live in the States, we've got family obligations. It's difficult. I get that. But if you're living in Europe, I've said this before, my prime time for trading, right? 3 to 5 a.m. Eastern, right? 9 to 11 to noon in Germany, right? That is the most fertile time period for this business. And if you can structure your life in a way that allows you to do that, I'll tell you, you're going to make it a lot easier on yourself in terms of trading opportunity. If you can't be there, find somebody that can trade capital for you that is awake and alive and alert during that time period. Not me. Okay, I struggle with being here at 3 a.m., but I'm just giving you that as an example. I've been focusing a lot of my attention on the U.S. close, on the transition to Asia, and on the Asia Open. Now, I get the fact, too, that many of these nights are extremely boring, that sometimes it's like watching paint dry. However, like many good things in life, there is goodness to it. And in fact, what I'll be sharing with the team next week is a walkthrough of one market to another market to another market in terms of the times when it's absolutely dormant, the times when it is ripe with opportunity. And I'll share some of this with you. It's no secret, folks. This is not about secrets. You've got the U.S. session closing, U.S. RTH, regular trading hour session closing at 5 p.m. Eastern time, right? And as that's happening, you are getting people liquidating positions that are margined, or I'm not going to get into the whole manipulation battle on getting prices to a certain level in order to tick a certain price or to set options pricing and all that kind of stuff, because obviously that's the last time you can get an option equity trade. But there's liquidation going on. Let's just call it that. And whether it's up or down doesn't matter. And so there are some very, very, very high probability sequences that if you have been watching the market for any longer than a month, okay, forget the 20, 30 years that some of us have been doing this. It just happens. Don't take my word for it. Look at charts. Okay, look at historical charts. So there's a pattern there. I call one of the sequences the catcher's mitt trades, trading sequence. Have a lot of fun with that. And if you can forget the fact, if you can just expand your time horizon a little bit beyond the RTH session close, okay, just expand your time frame a little bit, all right? Many of your problems may be solved in terms of profitability. So there's that, right? Then you have the reopening at 6 p.m. Eastern. All these times are Eastern time, folks. That's where I'm at. Then you have the transition to Asia. And you have the Nikkei opening an hour before Shanghai, so there's a very distinct rhythm for when the Nikkei happens to open at now 8 p.m. Eastern, and you got to be careful on whether we're in daylight savings times or not. Okay, we are now on the East Coast, There is a clear pattern and a restriction to movement in the first hour, and then you have Shanghai opening at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then there is again a predictable pattern when that happens. And so if you follow this from U.S. RTH close to the reopen, to Japan, to China, and beyond, and then transition to Europe, and then back to the U.S. when the U.S. starts waking up at 6 a.m., right? It's very, very natural progression. We are not robots. We cannot be here the whole time. But find what you believe is the most fertile time for what you're allowed to do or what you're able to do, and run with it. Or think about restructuring your time a little bit. There were, about 5 years in the late first decade of the 2000s that I was with Europe. I was living Europe's life here on the East Coast. I was up at 3 trading that and did fabulously. And right now I do not have the time or energy really to do that. So I'm focusing now more on the U.S. close and then the sequence over to Asia. Very, very, very predictable and frankly highly profitable. So that's that, and it does continue to surprise me. I'm only really able to monitor Twitter a little bit in the morning and then at night, and mainly because there's more time to do that. My focus is such during the RTH time that I'm monitoring, I'm trading. Certainly, I think I traded 500 contracts in total yesterday. It wasn't as heavy as I should have been, but that's 500 by 500, and so I trade it, and there's opportunity. And yesterday was a great day. VIX finally, bang, over 13. Thank you, for those of us that profit through price fluctuations. But the focus is there because I find, and I call it the cowboy market a lot, because this action is often moving so very quickly. Then unless you're looking at like the midday fade like we had yesterday in spades, or the ending bull cup bear trap, it's very little time really to get into positions. And I find a lot of traders have a very difficult time anyway getting into positions because the market's moving so very quickly. And even if you have plans set ahead of time, the market's not going to play out exactly that way. It may smell the same, and if you're prepared, it's certainly better than not being prepared. Don't get me wrong; you should be doing your homework. You should be prepared. But frankly, you've got the pace at which often is rather difficult. Now, the pace of the last 2 days has been fantastic. So we've had some fertile ground here the last couple of days. I don't think anybody will deny that. But what can you do in the Globex market? Well, you get time. You have time to execute. You have time to get size on, and I find it much easier to manage size in Globex than I do during the regular session, because again, the thought process, you're not shooting skeet while riding a skateboard anymore. You're just shooting skeet, and in some cases they're standing still. Now, many people don't like that because it's standing still. We need movement to profit. However, I would say that's countered by the benefit of a slower moving market. And again, if you take advantage of patterns. If you take advantage of the patterns, and as I like to say, skate to where the puck is going to be versus where it's at, then you'll see the rewards. And again, don't take my word for it. Line up the different charts, go back in time, look at the transition from one to another, and probably took me a little bit too long for me to figure that out and incorporate that in my trading. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Twitter's always fascinating. People. I thank all of you for your interest. I've been so reluctant over the years to get involved with it. Again, my desire for all of you is to, we talk about iron sharpens iron. Sometimes I think it's rust sharpens irons when I'm not in a particular good trading rhythm, but hopefully it's more iron sharpens iron. And as I said in my last tweet, my intent is only to motivate, encourage, and uplift. And it's not about me. It's never been about me. If I can throw some things out there every now and then that may help you look at the market a little bit differently and add to your results and not my results, then that's exactly what we're trying to accomplish. And so, if I see things developing like catcher's mitt opportunities, or like some of the ETH stuff that I can talk about because the pace is a lot slower and I have time and I can focus on two things without affecting my trading, then I'll try to do that from time to time. But that's my only interest. Maintain blinders to everything else, folks, and just stay with it. Stay focused. Stay on your game. Stay on your game. And sometimes I will put something out there that says something like, well, here was the potential, or here's what you could have done. And the reason for that really is to ask yourself, if you didn't take it, why not? It's a push. It's an intentional push. Because if someone does not push you, then you're never going to do it. Okay. I can't tell you how many times I see or I hear people saying, yeah, I saw it, but what but? Get off your duff. I saw it. Yeah, I kind of see it. Yeah, it seems to happen over and over again. Yeah. I don't care what time of day, what sequence it is, folks. If you are finding yourself saying that to yourself, you've got to either find another job, another hobby, another interest, or goodness sake, do it. Do it. And if I have to push you a little bit to do it, I have people pushing me to do it. Okay? I have people pushing me. I'm accountable to certain people at this end in terms of, Don, why didn't you take it? Okay, if you didn't take it. So that's all I'm trying to do. And I try to have some fun with it. We try to use some analogies. So, I'm a big analogy guy. I was that way when we were doing the daily diary, and I continue to be that way. It's how I view life. I view life in terms of communicating and seeing it in terms of parables and analogies. And I think it's easier for us to understand. So I'm going to throw some baseball analogies in there on the catcher's mitt. Please look through. I know I have a recent post right before this on the blog that shows you a sequence of tweets. Just look at it, pick it up, ingrain that. Okay, this is all about you identifying your opportunity and increasing your potential, folks. I've got mine. Okay, I'm 55 now. I have no interest in making a name for myself. I have no interest in really anything. And I pray that when you guys get to this age, you'll feel the exact same way. It's a wonderful feeling. Okay. Filter out what you don't want to hear, what you don't want to see. Yes, please do it. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay on the path. Stay in the middle of the path. Do not let anybody distract you. Remove anything that does. Surround yourself with people that uplift, that love you. Okay. That is what this is all about. Oh, I get so excited about this. Anyway, what else do we want to talk about? I want to keep this fairly short. 17 minutes. Okay. Just folks, we all have potential. We all have potential greater than where we are right now. That's a fact. That's a fact for me. That's a fact for you. Okay. There's always something we can be doing better. Stay focused. One of the pet peeves I have with chat rooms, for example, is anytime you're typing into a chat room as a trader, you are taking focus away from the task at hand, from your business, right? Maybe you could be monitoring it a little bit better. Maybe you could have added size. You could have created that outlier by you got confirmation. Great, go ahead and put the rest of that on. Okay, don't get caught up in the venting. Oh, missed it, or got this, had this, did great. Yeah, it drives me crazy, right? Because that's taking focus away from your current management, sequence management, or the next sequence management that's teeing itself up. Okay, the ego. The ego is an incredible thing that is important to have confidence in yourself, so that you can step up to the plate, you can catch the ball in the mitt, or you can hit the ball out of the park. Confidence is very, very, very important. Okay, and there's that fine line between confidence and cockiness, confidence and ego. Okay, there is strength beyond which we possess. There is strength beyond which we possess. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Tap into it. Tap into it. God bless you. Have a great trading week. See ya. Bye.